This will embarrass you. Not your grammar, but the English you think is correct. Welcome to the English Acceleration Lab podcast series. I'm Zivara, and today we're going straight into real-life English mistakes, the kind people use every day, and nobody corrects.
I'm Oren, and yeah, these are the dangerous ones, because you keep using them with confidence, and then one day, someone reacts slightly differently, and you realize something is off, but you don't know what.
Yes, and that something is off feeling, that's what we're fixing today. Not textbook grammar, but real usage, the kind that affects how natural you sound. All right, let's go straight in.
Okay, first one. I used this for years. I would say, I did a mistake. In meetings, with friends, everywhere. And nobody corrected me, so I thought it was completely fine.
Yeah, and that's exactly why this mistake is so common, because people understand you, so it survives. But in natural English, we don't use do with mistake. We use make. So the correct version is, I made a mistake. And once you start using that, your sentence immediately sounds more natural.
Yeah, and when I finally noticed it, I started hearing it everywhere. Like, suddenly did a mistake sounded strange to me, even though I used it for years.
Now this one, very common in learning environments. I am having a doubt. And the intention is clear. You want to ask something, but in natural English, this structure isn't used. Instead, you say, I have a question, or I'm not sure about this. And those sound much more natural in real conversation.
Yeah, and the interesting part is, doubt is a real English word, so learners feel confident using it. But the way it's used in conversation is completely different, which makes it tricky. All right, next one. This one feels logical, but it's wrong. I didn't understood. I used to say this when I was confused in conversations, and again, nobody corrected me.
Exactly. And the reason is, it sounds logical. Past plus past. But English doesn't work like that. After did, the verb goes back to its base form. So the correct version is, I didn't understand. And this is one of those small rules that makes a big difference in how clean your English sounds.
Yeah, once you fix this, your sentences suddenly feel sharper, like less heavy.
Now this one is short, but very noticeable. I am agree. And the issue here is simple. Agree is already a verb, so adding am breaks the structure. The natural way is just, I agree. Clean, direct, complete.
Yeah, and this is one of those mistakes where even if people understand you, it immediately signals that something isn't natural. Like, it stands out more than longer mistakes. Okay, this one confused me for a long time. He only said me. I used it in conversations without thinking, and people understood, but sometimes they asked me to repeat.
Yes, because this sentence is missing a connector, and that's why it feels incomplete. In English, you either say, he said to me, or he told me, and both are natural. But told me feels smoother and is more common in everyday speech. So when you switch to that, your sentence flows better instantly.
Yeah, and I noticed that when I started using told me, conversations felt easier. Like, I didn't need to think about structure anymore.
Now this one, very common in daily conversations. I am here since 2 hours. And the issue here is time structure. In English, when something started in the past and continues now, we use present perfect. So the natural sentence is, I have been here for 2 hours. And this makes your timeline clear, smooth, and complete.
Yeah, and this is one of those sentences where the wrong version is understandable, but the correct version feels much more natural. Like, it fits the situation better.
And now we're moving into something more interesting, because the next mistakes are not obvious. They sound okay, but they create awkward moments in real life.
Yeah, this is where people start reacting differently, even if they don't say anything.
And this is where things start getting a bit uncomfortable, because now we're moving into mistakes people use confidently in real situations, and they don't even realize how they sound.
Okay, I've got one. This happened in a shared apartment. I walked in, it was dark, and I said, "Can you open the light?" And the guy just looked at me, not confused, just slightly frozen. Like he understood, but something didn't feel right.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of direct translation, because in English, we don't open lights, we turn them on. And this is interesting because the listener understands you, but your sentence feels unnatural, like it doesn't belong to the language.
Yeah, and the reaction is subtle. No one laughs, but there's a pause, and you feel it.
Now, this one is even more visual. Close the TV. And when people hear that, there's a split second where their brain tries to imagine what that means. Like, physically close it, shut it, fold it.
Yeah, I actually saw someone look at the remote, then at the TV, like they were deciding what close meant.
Exactly. And again, the natural version is turn off the TV. And this is not grammar. This is usage. And these are the mistakes that don't stop communication, but they interrupt flow.
All right, here's one I still hear all the time. I will call you after 5 minutes. And it sounds fine at first, but something feels slightly delayed.
Yes, because in English, we usually say, I will call you in 5 minutes. And that small change shifts how the sentence feels. In 5 minutes sounds immediate and natural, while after 5 minutes feels a bit unnatural in this context.
Yeah, and in real conversations, that difference actually matters because it affects how people expect the action to happen.
Now, this one is tricky because sometimes it's correct, and sometimes it creates confusion. I am coming in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've said this, but I wasn't even ready yet. I was still at home.
Exactly, and that's the issue. This sentence suggests you are already on your way, so if you're still preparing, it doesn't match reality. A more natural option would be, I will come in 5 minutes, or I'll be there in 5 minutes, which sounds more accurate.
Yeah, that one actually avoids misunderstandings, especially in real plans. Okay, this one always makes me smile. Do one thing. I used to say this in work situations, like, do one thing, send me the file, and it felt completely normal to me.
Yeah, and this is very common in certain language patterns, but in English, it doesn't sound natural. Instead, you'd say, just send me the file, or here's what you can do. And those sound much smoother and more natural in conversation.
Yeah, when I stopped using do one thing, my instructions suddenly sounded clearer and less awkward.
Now let's move into a professional context. I will revert back to you. This one sounds formal, but it's actually redundant because revert already means go back.
Yeah, it's like saying the same thing twice without realizing it.
Exactly. A more natural version would be, I will get back to you, which is simpler, clearer, and widely used in real communication.
Yeah, and honestly, it sounds more human, less robotic. All right, last one. And this one is very common in introductions. Myself, John. I've heard this so many times.
Yes, and this one stands out immediately because in English, we don't introduce ourselves that way. The natural way is simple. My name is John, or I'm John. And this is a good reminder that sometimes simpler is better.
Yeah, and once you switch to that, your introduction sounds natural instantly.
So here's the takeaway. These mistakes are not big, but they affect how natural you sound. Fix them, and your English feels smoother immediately.
Yeah, and once you notice them, you start hearing them everywhere.
Exactly. Once you hear it, you can't ignore it. We'll see you in the next one.